There's this couple who has sold their ECOM business for over $1 million, and they are now investing in high yield portfolio in order to generate over $10,000 before tax income every single month so that they don't have to work anymore. Hey guys, you are watching Passive Earnings, and in this video I'll show you guys Dan and Alice stock portfolio with high yield income ETFs. So the backstory of Dan and Alice is that they've been able to sell their e-com business, which they operated from their garage, for about $1 million. Outside of this $1 million, they have also saved up a couple years of their yearly expenses, which means they have saved up $100,000 other than this $1 million portfolio, so they can live off of that for about 2 years. $50,000 is roughly they estimated their expenses are, and this is how their portfolio looks like. So starting from JEPQ, they have only 1.69% weightage in JEPQ, and then come the big three. So QQQ, they have 45% weightage on QQQ, meaning 45% of this whole portfolio investment is invested in QQQ, which is a positive thing considering that they've been able to generate that much cash per year, plus they have growth factor in it, so they can grow their portfolio over time by investing in such an ETF. Then we have SCHD, the king of dividend ETFs. Then we have VIG, the king of dividend growth ETFs. By weightage, there are 10 and 15% respectively. Then comes the three big hitters on the high yield. So first off, we have QDTE, which is 12.13% of the total portfolio. Then we have FIAT, which is a very new ETF, just as new as QDTE and XDTE are, and it is basically considered as a hedge against Bitcoin. So if the Bitcoin price goes up, the value of fiat goes down, and if the Bitcoin price goes down, the value of fiat goes up. It has been able to perform really well for the past 2-3 months and has been able to generate good dividends as well, which we will look in a second. And then lastly, we have XDTE, which is 11.15% of their portfolio. Looking at the holdings percentage, now let's look at the total amount invested in each of these ETFs. So at first, for JEPQ, they have invested over $16,877, which equates to 325 shares of JEPQ at today's price. Then they have invested 45% of their total investment in QQQ, which is really strong. So $454,460 with 1,000 shares, which is generating them only $2,678 of dividends every single year. Then we have SCHD, a total of $100,000 invested in SCHD, 1,200 shares, and SCHD is generating roughly about $300 per month for them. Then we have VIG, which is $154,000 of total value, and then they are generating $26.83 per annum for this ETF. Then we have three high yield ETFs. So for QDTE, they have 3,000 shares at current price, which is 12.13% of their total portfolio. And fiat, they have only invested $42,000, which is again act as a hedge. And then XDTE, which is S&P 500 round hill ETF, covered call ETF, they've invested close to $112,000 in XDTE. So if you look at the dividends, you will see that total annual income doesn't account for more than $10,000 every single month if you look at this estimated annual income. And the problem here is 3 of these ETFs don't have a history of 1 year. What that means is we will have to calculate these dividends manually, because in Seeking Alpha what you see here is the estimated amount since the inception, and this is what the annual estimated income is since the inception. And roughly we can say that QDTE and XDTE case, we have 6 months of dividends. So the total that you see here, $23,000 here and $13,000 here, is the total over 6 months. So what we have to do is we have to take $23,000 times it by 2. So for the year, the total income would be $46,000 for QDTE, 3,000 shares, and then roughly we can say $13,000 for XDTE. So $13,000 times 2 is $26,000. So $26,000 plus $46,000 will give us the sum of XDTE and QDTE over 1 year period. And this is again like a rough estimate. It can't always be the same, but this is the average over the last 6 months of the dividends that have been paid by QDTE and XDTE. And then for Fiat has been able to pay a lot more than XDTE and QDTE. So if you look at here, the only two dividends are over $1.87 in both cases. But to be on a conservative side, if we multiply $1.75 times 12, which is what we're saying that this will be the income per share times 2,000 shares that they hold, is $42,000. So then $42,000 from Fiat, XDTE and QDTE sum was $72,000. Then we have a total of $114,000 just from these 3 investments. Then come $1,652 from JEPQ, $2,700, close to $2,700 from QQQ, close to $3,400 from SCHD, and close to $2,700 from VIG, which accounts to $9,000 in all. So then this plus $9,000 is roughly $123,000. And if they can keep the expenses steady for a few more years of $50,000, they'd be able to save 50% of the income that they are gonna generate monthly, or they can reinvest that money and maybe buy more quality ETFs that can pay off their bills. So that is how you can also build a portfolio of high income ETFs in combination with high growth ETFs, and that is how I plan to build my portfolio as well. Currently this is my portfolio and this is how it looks like in Robinhood. My health score is good too. My health portfolio is in top 19% of all portfolios, but I have been holding a lot of cash in terms of selling cash ticket puts, which I think I will liquidate and buy shares of quality dividend ETFs and high yield ETFs as well in future. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and check out my link of Seeking Alpha that is in the description box below. If you sign up, you will get $25 off from yearly payment, plus you will also get to join and see alpha picks if you sign up for that as well. So that's it. I hope you guys will like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care of yourself and people around you. Goodbye.